So, Starbucks DJ is playing the music you're playing in the background. No rights, incidentally occurring music. This is Bert. This is taken out of context. Hoping you guys can hear me trying a new lineup with this headphones. You know, I've been having some sound issues. I apologize from the other day, but here we are. Please explain to me, folks, what's going on with R.Kelly? This is going to be a real quick one. There's going to be numerous recordings today. Now that we're on Facebook Watch, got to continue to turn some things out. My question becomes, what exactly was going on with Mr. Robert Kelly? If you didn't see the interview on CBS, it's going to be all over social media the next 2 or 3 days that this guy has lost it. And I don't understand what's going on. How he could do this report, how he could lose his mind. And I like how Gail kept her composure during the whole thing. It was amazing to see him fall on. Dawn D. Marshall, how are you? Dawn, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or just say good morning. Angie Williams, if you can hear me, say good morning. This is a new set of headphones. I ordered some really good monitors and they're going to be here for about a week or two. So all the people who are seeing us on Facebook Watch, let me know. Real Rodney, good morning. What is going on with R. Kelly? Where are his handlers? Why didn't someone tell me it was a bad idea to come on and say those things? Angie, how are you? Are you hearing me clearly? Just let me know if you guys are hearing me clearly. The music playing in the background is being pumped by the Starbucks that I attend, who helped me. My front seat that I normally have, let me show you, give you an idea. That is where I'm usually sitting, up there, that front space. Where that Starbucks sign is, that's usually where I do the shows from. But today, I got here early and somebody else is using the spot, so I'm back here. So if anybody's on right now, if you can hear me and it's coming through clearly, let me know. You guys can hear me, that's very good. So anybody tell me what Mr. Robert Kelly was babbling about on the air? I'm gonna tell you right now that for the people that I know who are in a certain lifestyle where some of the things that they do may be considered marginalizing by other people, i.e. people who are into sadomasochism, bondage, a little slap and tickle, those things that they do, it's based on consent. So if Robert Kelly has that going on in his life and the people that are involved in it are consenting, what are you going to say? You might not like it, you can't really legislate against it. But when it comes to a point where women are being held against their will and being transported across state lines for illicit purposes and are being treated really poorly, that's an issue. But still, it may not be criminal because if they're there by choice. That's for people that are in that lifestyle. But my thing is that someone should have told him, Mr. Kelly, it's a bad idea to go on CBS, to flip out, and then have to be calmed down by your handlers. And if you have handlers and an entourage, and your entourage does not prepare you and tell you how to do things, you're not going to win. What's her name? Pope from Scandal could not help you. Like, I think the idea of people calling themselves fixers and guys who fix situations, these fixers stink. His organizers stink from to come out there. And even if he had any credibility, he just lost it. It was just ridiculous. I didn't watch the interview. I was at Bible study last night, and it was on again this morning. And Angie, it's one of those things where I think some of the things that he's doing is a cry for help. I really do think that somewhere in his twisted mind is a cry for help. I especially think things with Michael Jackson, that there should have been someone around to heal Michael if the things are true. I'm not sure if anybody watched the Leaving Neverland thing that HBO put out that they're being sued for $100 million for. But if you saw that, if damaged and hurt people damage and hurt other people. But no one ever reached out to Michael. There were people that were more attracted to his fortune and his talent than actually dealing with the man on the inside. So you end up with that kind of situation. So my thing is that you're going to have more of these. And you have people like Oprah who's going to say things like, well, we need to get around and find out what's happening with churches and stuff like that. And I think that's the next thing that's going to come out, is a lot of people are going to come and say, hey, look, there are churches, there are situations going on in churches where there's lots of abuse, and it's not just the Catholic Church. People like to put it on one faith or another. That there are incidents where in the Black American churches, Protestant churches, Methodist churches, whatever, where people have been abused for years. It's going to come to a point where that's going to come to the surface. what I said before is that there comes a point where investigation, I'm not going to use the term witch hunt like Trump does about about his bad behavior being brought to light. That's what people sometimes say. When their bad behavior is brought to light, that it's a witch hunt. That's a problem. I don't know if you guys can hear me. They're really blasting the music here in Starbucks, so you're getting treated as Destiny's Child. Yesterday was very interesting here at Starbucks. They really played a lot of Michael Jackson. So some stations and stuff were actually pushing away from Michael. Starbucks was actually really into it. But he really, really played a lot of stuff in rotation yesterday. So my thing is that you have these people who are talented and are tortured. So many artists end up taking their own lives. And it's an interesting thing where the weight of their fame, the way they were raised, their talent does not seem to protect them from judgment, from sadness, from depression, and all those things. That's very interesting. So my first thing for the day is, and this is going to be a really quick one because I'm bouncing from thing to thing. This first thing here, news. Did you see what happened with Mr. Kelly on CBS? I think that Gail, I can't remember her name right now, she did a really good job in interviewing him. And the fact that he blew up was the scary part. And it just shows that he can be unhinged. And the interesting thing is, you might not agree with the stuff that he did, but I'm telling you, if there are women who chose to live with him, who chose to be his concubines, who chose to be involved in a sadomasochism thing with him, a BDSM thing with him, if they chose to have a power exchange in which they gave over their personal freedom to them, that's their business. And if they did not clear with their families are going to go and look and try to find them. It's disturbing. Your choices can disturb other people. Mocha Mystery Jones, thank you so much. This is the first time I see you tuning into the show, and I really appreciate it. So R. Kelly denied sexual abuse allegations in an interview with Gayle King. The recording artist sat down with CBS's Gayle King to discuss the sexual misconduct allegations against him. R. Kelly is currently charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse in 4 cases. And the full interview aired on CBS this morning on Wednesday. Well, I think it was an hour-and-a-half interview, so I'm not really sure if that's true that they have everything on there. But it's about he broke his silence, and I think that and I think that we need to have a situation where I guess he felt that he had to come out and make a statement. But to lose it and become unhinged to it is a problem. Standing up and being seen in a threatening position. Gayle King, being sure did not do anything for his case. What I'm saying is, and people might judge me for it, but I think I'm more concerned about the abuse of people and the participation of people. Good morning. The participation of people who are not in a position to make a proper decision. And that could be law. You could sit there, people will say, look, if you're 16, 17, 18 years old, 15 years old, and into a sexual relationship with somebody, you are able to consent, you make those choices. A lot of people did the same thing when they were that age. They became sexually active at 14, 15, 16, 13 in some cases, and they said they were able to make that decision. But by law, you are not allowed or considered capable to make that decision to consent. So in that case, R. Kelly broke the law. Those are the cases that I'm concerned with, abusing young women. The idea that they said that R. Kelly would go to, when he got out of jail, the first thing he went to was go to a McDonald's where he was known to have gone before when he was dating women who were underage. And let's call them girls. They're not women, they were little girls, young women. Let's make a delineation, a differentiation between the situation. If a grown woman makes a decision to throw herself into the situation that R. Kelly has, that is different than someone underage being pushed into that situation. One of the things I tell young men when I counsel them and stuff, and I have to be honest with that, I say, listen, if you want to talk about what's sexy in real life, consent. Consent is a beautiful thing. And even as far as being married, consent is necessary in marriage. Some people think that when you're married to someone, you are entitled to their body whenever you want it. And that's been shown to not be upheld in court. That the whole idea is that you even need consent when you are married. So it is a constant situation of consent, and it'd be necessary. So R. Kelly said he was asked a question: Have you done anything? Have you done anything you regret? Have you done anything wrong? This was asked to Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly said, lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize, but I apologized in those relationships at the time that I was in the relationships. And he said, okay, he goes, look, I may have done things wrong, but I apologized in the moment for the things that I did wrong. Which means one of the things that happens is that some people are incredulous. They don't think what they did is wrong, and they come out and defend themselves strongly. That does not necessarily mean they're right. They just have their convictions. Look at our president. Our president has his convictions that he's done nothing wrong, no collusion. Or that whatever, at one point his thing was whatever he did was correct in the moment because he won. They asked President Trump, do you regret anything that you said or did during the campaign? He said no. And they go, why? He goes, because I won. I think that people think that their talent makes a way for them and it lets them express their darkest desires. That is what happens. So that's what I with Mr. R.Kelly. And I was very surprised at the interview and stuff like that. This is one of the things that R.Kelly said also, because if you really look at the documentary, which I'm sure you have, everybody says something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good. They were describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer, I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil, and by no means am I a monster. That is open for interpretation. Do you look at if someone denies their sickness, does that mean they're not sick? If you have someone who's a drug addict, you know anybody in your family who's ever had a problem with alcohol? Victor Hamilton, good morning. Who's ever had a problem with alcohol, a problem with drugs, anything like that? One of the first things they have is denial. And do you give up on them because you're in denial? Again, I apologize for the blind music in the background. Doesn't really fit what we're saying, but that's why I'm talking quick, trying to stay up above it. If you guys are hearing me clearly, let me know through these headphones. I'll be back on later on with my co-hosts. They're all busy. I think Mr. Crawford is probably at the gym. Ahovala is probably at the gym. Breland is out trying to save the world by selling one house at a time. And Jess Garcia is on the West Coast. So it's kind of hard to get those guys in. But again, I hope you hear me. That's why I'm holding this microphone up. Talking about R. Kelly a little bit. The thing with R. Kelly, the interview that he did that I think did him more harm than it did good for him. I think that his handlers really should have talked to him more strongly about not coming out and saying it. But it also lets you see the depths of how embedded he is in his behavior and his belief that he didn't do anything wrong. In 2008, R. Kelly was found not guilty on 14 counts of child pornography after prosecutors failed to convince a jury that he was the man seen in a sex tape with girls as young as 13. Last month, he was indicted again and charged with aggravated criminal sexual abuse of 4 women. This is what's going on. And people, when they're in the throes of their addiction, whatever, they don't see that they're doing anything wrong, or they want you to leave them on. That's pushback. That's the thing with Mr. Kelly, with R. Kelly. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. It does seem there are people out there who have conspiracy theorists saying that, this is just more denigration of the black man and everything else. And you sit there and I go, no, it's not really true. There are other situations where we're being set back and marginalized. But with the idea that R. Kelly is coming to light and that you have Michael Jackson being dragged again for the things that I have to admit, I believe he did do some of the things that were said. And now what's going to happen is that they're going to start going after black clergy. Thank you so much, Mocha. They're going to start going back after black clergy because they said that between 400 and 700 cases in America of alleged sexual abuse in black American churches, Protestant churches, Methodists, whatever we want to call it. Andrew Sorrentino, good morning. Andrew, I'm going to see Andrew Sorrentino later on today. If you guys know, Andrew is a supporter of the show. We also support Andrew Sorrentino. At a time of vulnerability, Andrew Sorrentino is a funerary director. And if I go before him, he would definitely take care of me. And Andrew, besides being a good guy in general, is really good at dealing with people at the point when they are the most vulnerable. Andrew is not going to gouge you. He's going to make your loved one. He's going to make one of the most uncomfortable experiences in the world more bearable and give you the things that you want. So that's Andrew Sorrentino, supporter of the show. Love him. He is a funerary director here in New York. And I'm actually going to be at a funeral this evening. An evangelist in the church that I attend passed away, Evangelist Constance Foster. It's going to be a huge funeral at that church, and Andrew is the funeral director for that. And the burial is going to be tomorrow. And the church is going to be crowded and stuff like that. And Andrew Sorrentino definitely works very strongly in the West Indian community, black community here in New York. And he's a great guy. And I thank you so much for tuning in, Andrew. I know you had a busy day. I know this is a big funeral we're going to have tonight, and love you, man. Just want to say that you do great work, and I hope that I live long enough that I don't need your services, but if I do, I know you'll make sure I got my final rest and everything else in the presentation. You'll take care of my family. The Vatican also. So Victor Hamilton said he don't think he's wrong because he beat the case, not because he didn't do it, but because he beat the case. And I'm saying he thinks because he beat the case, it's over. What I thought was really interesting is people tried to drag Jay-Z, trying to figure out why Jay-Z and Kelly came to blows, and R.Kelly was basically afraid of Jay-Z. And the statement, I was kind of involved in promotion, street teamwork and stuff like that. And what it came out to is when Jay-Z realized the kind of stuff that was going on with R. Kelly, he put hands to him. He said, we don't do that in New York. No, and that's not, I hope Jay-Z was not trying to fire shots at other areas like Chicago, but that's one of the things that Jay-Z said, and it led to the disagreement, the separation between them. But the funny part is somebody said, where were people like Jay-Z if you saw the behaviors that were going on? Why didn't he say something? And he did. He took it into the street and tried to put hands on him. And then they say that Jay-Z was too old for, it's a different situation between R. Kelly dealing with 13-year-olds and Jay-Z being 30 and being involved with a 19, 20, 21-year-old in Beyonce. It's a different situation. Nicola, how are you? It's good to see you in the check-in. Yeah, and the Vatican scandal is going to keep getting deeper. The Vatican scandal is going to keep getting deeper and continue to go on. Hope you guys can hear me over the music. Like I said, it's early. I'm usually not here this early. I'm usually in the street working with my clients, but I decided to come in here and get on early enough. R. Kelly was asked during the interview, have you ever had sex with anyone under the age of 17? And R. Kelly said, no. And he said, no, never, no. That's about as direct a denial as you can have. But evidence seems to be to the contrary. And the fact that he's lying in an interview doesn't really affect me at all. I don't really have an issue with it. It's just very interesting he chose to go on and do this interview at that time. Before R. Kelly exploded, he started saying, stop it. You all quit playing. I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my effing life. Y'all killing me with this ish. He told her, he goes, standing up, I gave you 30 years of my freaking career. And you did. You did give us 30 years of your career, but look, I'm going to tell you how it works. Chuck Berry, one of the fathers of rock and roll, the guy with the guitar and the duck walk, was filmed. He had restaurants and he put cameras in his bathroom. He had certain fetishes that he had to deal with, and he got caught for it. And this is, and a lot of people, your perversions, it's easy to keep your perversions hidden when you're not famous. A lot of people live different on alternative lifestyles, and the only way you find out is if they out themselves on Facebook. But that also goes for things that are harmless, like if you like to be tied up and tickled with a feather, that's harmless, doesn't bother anybody. It's between you and your circle of friends and stuff like that. But when it comes to certain things about like abusing people, look at what happened with Jared Fogle and Subway. Jared Fogle would have been a nobody, and no one would have known what Jared Fogle did, and until he went and basically paid to have relations with a 14-year-old and sabotaged a feel-good life story from a fat dude that nobody liked to the spokesman for Subway, with I think a $15 million fortune, which is not huge. I can't wait till I get to $15 million so I can say it's not huge. But then he never lost that, whatever was in him that he should have suppressed. He wanted to have sex with young children, and now he's ended up in jail, everything cast away. So those are the things that happen. Whenever you become famous, you trade off. So there's no way that R. Kelly should really be allowed to complain past a certain point about fame. I have an issue with people, it depends. If you are a football player, and I'm not gonna keep you guys on really long, let me hit this with you with this. Athletes always come and complain that they're not role models. They just wanna play the sport, make a huge amount of money. Okay, Victor, thank you so much. They wanna come in, not really be famous, do their few commercials, play their sport, be good at it, and not be scrutinized. I kind of get it, because it's about your talent on the field and not your lifestyle or anything else. But even though your lifestyle is what makes people want, Tony McFarlane, your lifestyle is what makes people want to buy products that you use. But if you are a singer, an actor, and especially your situations change, your lifestyle makes people want to. Look at Kylie Jenner. Her cosmetic line would not be so popular if it wasn't for the fact that it's a lifestyle brand. They're buying it because they want to be like. If Kylie Jenner ever complained about her exposure, someone should chop her in the throat. You can't. You traded away your private life for this public image, and this public image made you worth. Her company's worth $900 million, and she's the only one that owns it. And she has $100 million for other things that she does. So Kylie Jenner is a billionaire at 23 years old. She's not allowed to complain. If people scrutinize her, if they bomb her on Instagram and stuff like that, they're crocodile tears, because you would not be who you were without social media. I do a lot of stuff on social media. People inbox me and they make fun of me for my faith. Some people have figured out that I'm a little bit more interesting in certain areas than they thought I would. They go, why'd you put it out there? Because some things I might keep from other things I share. I talk on the show about my divorce. I talk about raising my kids. I talk about things in my life that make things interesting to make you want to be a part of my lifestyle. Trevor, happy birthday, Trevor. So for me to complain about exposure would be kind of disingenuous. Leave me alone, but subscribe to my Instagram page. Look at my YouTube videos. Buy stuff from Cakes by Kia. Buy stuff from Starbucks. Do all the stuff that I promote, but don't look at me. Look at me, but don't look at me. You know, that's what happens. So R.Kelly complaining about losing his privacy, it's not really as much. It's not really, it doesn't have the same weight. But I understand when he says, in his first interview since sex abuse charges, R.Kelly tells CBS this morning, I'm not Lucifer, I'm a man. He's a man with human frailties, and men do horrible things. There was a song, a hip hop song by Queen Latifah called The Evil That Men Do, years ago. You know, it's one of those things. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. If you did not see the R. Kelly stuff, I'm gonna put links to it. Later on during the day, there's some other things we're gonna put out there for you. But this is gonna come up, we're on Facebook Watch. If you put in Bert Hubbard, if you put in Taken Out of Context, if you put in Bernard Hubbard, you can look at all the old videos. Facebook has made available everything that we've posted since 2016 is actually now available. On Facebook Watch. We're going to continue to bring it up. Kuban Wins, how are you? So if you want to see old stuff, you want to see even some of the stuff that's, to be honest, before I put it wide, there's some really interesting things on there, especially interviews that I did with people in different lifestyles, different areas, homeless people. I do lots of on-the-street interviews. A lot of those things are actually available. And there's a lot of stuff on there about me, about Taken Out of Context. So there's things about faith, there's things about acceptance, the boundaries and the advances in inclusion, which is something that's very interesting to people of faith. Inclusion does not always mean that everything that somebody does is okay with you, but it's we agree that we're under the same sun in the same area, and we have to learn how to work with each other and stuff like that. A lot of political things on there too. So hopefully, I'm glad that Facebook put us on Facebook Watch. I hope they can expand things out a little bit so we're not just listed as news. But not everybody wants to look at news, political, relationship, stuff like that. I hope it's up there. All right, so I'll be back later on. Pardon the music playing so loudly in the background. But I love you guys. This is a real quick one. Share it around. You're going to see it all over Facebook. And please look through Facebook watch the old things, get an idea of what kind of show that we're trying to put together. Myself, Rohan Crawford, Jess Garcia, A. Fitzgerald Breland, and a whole room of the Shringa, Patah, Intelechi Sith. Those are the people that I work with on there. And plus also, I'm going to tag a new commercial that was done for me by my boy Todd Rod. I'll put his real name up there, but I need you guys, if you want something to push you forward, I want you to see the commercial he made for us. And it's just amazing, man. He's really talented, and I'm always going to support him and build him up because he watches. Every day in his busy schedule, he comes in and helps draw the show and push it forward, so I really appreciate it. It's not easy doing things live all the time, but I think I'm getting better at it. There will be some more interviews with people that I've met. If you have a business, like My friend Christina Foxy Red, she's a hairdresser. She's going to be doing some classes here. I think like March 23rd, something like that. I'm going to link that there. I'm actually going to sit down with her for an interview, and she can tell you about the importance of getting into natural hair. And you know, some things you can learn a lot of things from YouTube, but she's going to show you that some things you actually need to sit down face to face with someone who's doing it, someone who's really good, and that face to face time is good. You can do very well just looking at stuff on YouTube, but you need a license to get your insurance and stuff like that in New York State. And also you need to actually sit down in front of someone and actually see someone who does it. So that's why I'm going to support Christina. I'm going to link to her stuff in this video. All right? So, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is the first one of the day. Thank you, Starbucks, for being the DJ, even though it's kind of loud. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I'm going to actually check the sound in a minute. Hopefully you guys heard me all the way through the show today. All right? So, again, God bless you guys. Have a great day. This is Bert for Taken Out of Context. We'll be back in a little bit. Hey, Ariana. How are you, Ari? Love you. It was great seeing you on Sunday. Thank you for tuning in, Ariana. We were just talking about R.Kelly and stuff like that. Go back to the beginning. If you didn't see the train wreck interview, please take a look at it. I mean, he decried, saying that he's innocent. Ahovola, how are you, brother? He says that he's innocent. He says that he gave 30 years of his life to his career, and we should cut him some slack, that we're demonizing him and stuff like that. But the funny part is he actually said he did not do it. But I mean, what are you going to believe? Your own lying eyes that you saw on videotape or what he says? And mentioning him, as I'm about to punch out, is Todd Rod Newton. Go to his page. You're going to see him in there, and I hope he just makes a comment, just say hello. I want you to click on there and then click on my page to see the work that he does. If you have a product, a seminar, anything you're doing, and you want somebody to give you advertising that has legs, that's going to walk and run and push you forward, man, Todd Rod is the man. You know, if I did not know him, I'd be like, dang, this brother is talented. And knowing him, it seemed that it's even more amazing that he's able to fit us in to do stuff for us when he has a busy schedule. But if you want something done, you know, I know a little camera unit. I'm going to be doing some cinematography and commercials for other people. So I think Todd Rod and I, when we sit down and chop it up, we may be offering you guys more services. But Todd Rod put some beautiful stuff together for us. Every ad you've ever seen, everything, my profile picture and stuff like that was done by him. It's really beautiful, and I really appreciate it. You guys need to give him your business. You know, each one, teach one, edify one, spend the money with people that have already shown. If you look at the stuff he put from us, that's his portfolio for online Facebook marketing. Facebook is going to explode in the way that YouTube did, believe it or not. I keep telling you guys, the demographic, if your demographic is age 30, well, us is 30 to 50. 60% women, 30 to 60 with disposable income. So if you come and talk to me about advertising, I'm going to put you in front of that group all around the world. South Africa, we have fans. Ghana, Uganda, England, the West Indies, all of that. But if you want someone who's going to give you an ad to put on here that you can put through, Todd Rod is the man. He's going to be able to put it up for you. All right, so that was just a quick one. I'm going to punch out of this one really quick and get back to work, and then come back a little bit later on with more videos during the day. This is Bert for Taken Out of Context, as more good work music comes on in the background. And since Facebook is not going to kill me off because I said I don't have rights to it, I hope you guys can hear that. It's a little bit of T.O.O.C playing in the background. All right, so I thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Bert for Taken Out of Context. We'll be back on later on today with some more stuff. Check out Todd Rod Newton's page. Look at all the wonderful stuff that he's put up for Taken Out of Context. He do the same thing for you in your project. He can help you get the word out and support it. All right? So love you guys. I am out of here. I'll be back on a little bit later on with my co-host. Probably I'll see if Ahovola is available later on today. And we won't just stick with the R.Kelly thing. There's so many other things going on that we can talk about. But hopefully we'll be on this afternoon and be back with you. All right? So enjoy the rest of your morning. Share this around, and I'll talk to you soon. This is Bert. We're Taken Out of Context. Peace.